News coming in, there's been a ceasefire violation at the line of control in the Poonch sector. In fact, two ceasefire violations have been reported, one from Poonch, the other from the Saujian sector south of Pir Panjal. India is responding to ceasefire violations by Pakistan. Reports that are coming in indicate Pakistan resorted to ceasefire violations using small arms initially in the Poonch sector, then it escalated to Saujian. The firing is still on. Pakistan continues to provoke along the line of control. The current round of firing is taking place in the Poonch Saujian sector south of Pir Panjal, and India Today's Ashraf Vani now joins me with more on the story. Ashraf, what's the latest?
Gaurav, indiscriminately firing is still going on here. It started at 5 p.m. today when first some fires were shot. It was a ceasefire violation from Pakistani side, which was responded with the equal quantum of firing from Indian side, and then it continued for almost 1 hour. Then there was a pause in the firing from both sides, but again at 6 p.m. the firing started from the both sides, which was very much responded from the Indian side, and still the firing is going on. But one thing is there, still the LMGs, light machine guns and machine guns are being used from both sides for the firing, but so far there is no use of artillery fire on the line of control. But probably it is believed if this firing spreads into other posts which are on the sides of the Saujian sector, then probably there may be exchange of mortar shells on the LOC also. We have seen this sector is the most volatile sector on the line of control. Last year, you may remember, there was the ceasefire violation from
and an infiltration bid. 4 terrorists were killed in Poonch. Ashraf, keep tracking that story. I will come back to you for more. Pakistan stands shamed as a state sponsor of terror in this region. India, Afghanistan, Bhutan and Bangladesh have opted out of the 19th SAARC summit. Afghanistan, in a very hard-hitting letter, said that President Ashraf Ghani was busy dealing with terrorism sponsored by a neighboring country and interference in Afghanistan's internal affairs. Equally scathing was Bangladesh, blaming Pakistan-sponsored terror. India too has hit back and hard.
4 diplomatic blows, one after the other, in a space of 12 hours for a terror-sponsor state. 4 of the 8 SAARC members pulling out of the regional body summit scheduled for November in Pakistan.
We see spectacular progress, but also unprecedented human suffering.
दुनिया में ऐसे देश हैं जो बोते भी हैं तो आतंकवाद, उगाते भी हैं तो आतंकवाद, बेचते भी हैं तो आतंकवाद और निर्यात भी करते हैं तो आतंकवाद. आतंकवादियों को पालना कुछ देशों का शौक बन गया है.
After the fireworks at the United Nations General Assembly, India is using its diplomatic machinery to isolate Pakistan in the South Asian region. First, the announcement that Prime Minister Modi will not be attending the SAARC meet.
Well, we had mentioned 2 reasons in our letter to the chair of SAARC, that is Nepal. We had said that one is the cross-border terrorism from one particular country, and the other is blatant interference in the internal affairs of other SAARC member states.
A direct snub to Pakistan, which denied any culpability in the Uri attack, which left 19 soldiers dead. And India's boycott call is being echoed by 3 other SAARC countries: Afghanistan, Bhutan and Bangladesh, all pulling out of the summit in a span of 12 hours.
After the Uri incident, the situation as it prevails in South Asia today is, we believe, is not conducive towards holding a SAARC summit and towards producing any concrete results. So we have decided that we cannot attend SAARC summit under the present circumstances.
Meanwhile, Pakistani High Commissioner to India Abdul Basit, summoned by Foreign Secretary Jai Shankar, who presented him with clinching proof against Pakistan. But the Pak envoy accused India of orchestrating the Uri attack with the intention to malign Pakistan's image. Bureau Report, India Today.
Pakistan-sponsored terror cannot hold development of our region to ransom. India is now actively moving forward on two different regional groupings taking along other countries of our region. So there's BIMSTEC. It has Bhutan, Bangladesh, India, Nepal, Myanmar, Sri Lanka and Thailand. So that's one grouping. And then there is BBIN. That is Bangladesh, Bhutan, India and Nepal. India has also intensified engagement with Afghanistan. BIMSTEC members have been invited to attend the powerful group of developing economies, the BRICS summit in Goa.
India is now taking its economic war against Pakistan one step further. After pulling out of the scheduled SAARC meet, the country is now pushing for a new FARC-less regional alliance. The Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral, Technical and Economic Cooperation is a group promoting regional and economic unity. Its members include India, Bangladesh, Bhutan, Nepal, Sri Lanka, Myanmar and Thailand. India is now all set to invite the BIMSTEC members to attend the BRICS summit in Goa, scheduled to take place on October 15th and 16th. The country is hailing the Modi government's every move.
The thought is to call the BIMSTEC countries, which really excludes everyone who is a part of SAARC except Pakistan. So it is keeping them out, which is appropriate and right and only proper.
The new alliance will not only isolate Pakistan but will also have a huge impact on its economy, with the members discussing development and trade in the absence of Pakistan. With Gaurav Sawant in New Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
And earlier today, I spoke to Vikas Swarup, Additional Secretary and Spokesperson for the Ministry of External Affairs, on India's strategy to isolate and shame Pakistan and also the new regional groupings. Let's listen in. Is terror the only reason why none of these countries want to, have a summit in Pakistan?
Well, we had mentioned two reasons in our letter to the chair of SAARC, that is Nepal. We had said that one is the cross-border terrorism from one particular country, and the other is blatant interference in the internal affairs of other SAARC member states. And I think both these arguments remain valid for most of the SAARC states in the region.
What demonstrable action does India want to see from Pakistan for talks to resume, in the sense, this isolation of Pakistan? What is our next strategy? What do we expect of Pakistan?
Well, it is really for Pakistan to decide how it wants to carry forward relationship with India. We have made it very clear that talks and terror cannot go together. Pakistan must dismantle the infrastructure of terrorism that has caused so much death and destruction in the neighborhood and beyond.
Is a new regional alliance in the making, considering we have BIMSTEC and BRICS? Pakistan is not there, it's not a member, but is there a signal to Pakistan?
Well, again, I would not want to speculate on that. As far as we are concerned, please see what Prime Minister had said in the Nepal SAARC summit, that we are prepared to work with all SAARC countries towards regional cooperation and integration if possible, and with those who are willing to come with us if necessary. There is one country in the region we all know which has not shown much interest in either the regional connectivity projects which will take forward regional prosperity. It opted out of the SAARC satellite project also. So it's really for that country to interest.
And there is more evidence of Pakistan state role in the Uri terror attack. This is the interrogation of the two guides who have been arrested recently. The National Investigation Agency has been interrogating them. Top government sources have told India Today that the terrorists who attacked the army garrison at Uri were cadre of the Jaish-e-Mohammed. They'd been trained at a particular training camp, a terror training camp in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Senior officers of Pakistan Army and the ISI, according to these guides, had visited them. And I want to bring in India Today's Kamaljeet Kaur Sandhu for more on the story. Kamal, what are your sources telling you? What more do we know from the interrogation of these two arrested Pakistani guides?
Gaurav, first let me tell you, Faisal Hussain and Yasin Khurshid, both of them from Muzaffarabad, have been brought to Delhi. There will be a sustained interrogation done by the National Investigation Agency. But remember, they have already confessed to being trained cadres of Jaish-e-Mohammed. They've said they have trained in Pir Chanasa, which is a training camp. They were acting as couriers and guides. What more importantly have they told is that they were using two specific routes. So they've been at it for quite some time. The route is obviously something which leads from Muzaffarabad, going through Tariqabad, and again through different routes, and finally reaching Chikote. Another route also is from Muzaffarabad to Chikoti, and then again reaching India's Uri sector. Now this is going to be extremely important, because not only are they going to trace this entire route back to Pakistan,
yes,
they're able to nail the evidence. And remember, sources clearly also pointing out that besides the GPS device, there's also radio as well as a mobile phone which has been recovered. Now,
so a lot of evidence. There's GPS, radio wireless sets, and the interrogation of Pakistani terrorists. Kamaljeet Kaur Sandhu, many thanks. So India's diplomatic offensive is just beginning. A rattled Pakistan has resorted to nuclear saber rattling again. From Khwaja Asif, Pakistan's defense minister, to disgraced and ousted former military dictator Pervez Musharraf, Pakistan is creating war hysteria. Pakistan is threatening India with tactical nuclear strikes. Fortunately, there are no takers for Pakistan's nuclear blackmail, and even the United States has talked about Pakistan's track record and entangled history of their nukes.
These same words reiterated by Pakistan's former president and the brain behind Kargil, General Pervez Musharraf.
No, Pakistan is not rattled. They are prepared to retaliate. I mean, what is the issue of being rattled? Why would Pakistan not select another target at time and place of its choosing and hit there? Then what will you do? You will do something else. And then what will Pakistan do? We will also do something else. That is how the escalation will go on. And we will end up having a war.
A tactical nuke yields 0.3 tons, whereas the intensity of a strategic nuke is up to 100 kilotons. That is the intensity of a strategic nuke. Tactical nuke can kill 25 to 100 people. Strategic nuke kills up to 10 lakh people. And that explains just why a tactical nuke has never been used before, but a strategic nuke has been used on 2 occasions in the past, in Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Tactical nuke, it targets battlefield formations, whereas a strategic nuke targets an entire city.
The Modi government clear on the war being economic and diplomatic. Pakistan's call for military war is only proof of its nervousness. Bureau Report, India Today.
From nuclear saber rattling to threatening to drag India to the international court over the Indus Water Treaty, Pakistan is clearly panicking. Its top legal officers are preparing a case to prevent India from withdrawing from the Indus Water Treaty. This at a time when all Prime Minister Narendra Modi said was blood and water can't flow together, and that India will reassess the Tulbul navigation project. We bring you this report on how Pakistan is in panic. The Narendra Modi government strategy to systematically choke Pakistan has left the rogue neighbor rattled. The government's decision to review the Indus Water Treaty has forced a nervous Pakistan to prepare for what's coming its way. Pakistan clearly doesn't know. Pakistan now is preparing to approach the International Court of Justice. Aziz went on to brazenly say that the Modi government's rethink on the Indus Water Treaty is an act of war, with the Narendra Modi government making it very clear blood and water cannot flow together. Pakistan's former military dictator turned president Pervez Musharraf has issued another uncalled for warning. He says Pakistan is prepared to retaliate.
If you try to stop waters of Pakistan, you are escalating the conflict to another level, to a very, very serious level. You are trying to stop our waters. You are trying to drive us thirsty. This is what you want? You want to parch our lands? You think Pakistan will sit idle?
With Pakistan resorting to nuclear saber rattling and threatening India with a water war, Pakistan's anxiety is clearly evident. Bureau Report, India Today.